Welcome to another session of the Titanium Tidbit for the Morning Hum with host C. Maria Wall, aka the voice of relationship recovery and mediating Shiro, right here at our ground zero. It's time for your weekly motivation and inspirational discussion. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation and good vibes. Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each of you wherever you are listening in this world. Welcome to another session of Titanium Tidbits for the Morning Hum. I am your host, C. Maria Wall, aka the voice of relationship recovery and mediator right here at our ground zero. And as always, when I say that we are at ground zero, we are not at rock bottom. Never look at it that way. Ground zero means that we're on solid ground, so you can gain your footing, dig in deeply, and prepare to propel yourselves to new heights. You know, our show for this weekend, our shows have been centered around all of the uncertainty and struggles that the federal workforce is going through here in the United States right about now. And so many people, if you know anything about geography and all of that, some people think that the federal workforce only consists of those who work in the Washington, D.C. area, but federal employees are throughout the United States. And many are losing their jobs. They're waking up and finding out that they have lost their jobs just like that. This regime is ruthless and relentless in their attacks. And most of it is personal to get back at people who harmed someone in the past. So they're taking it out on the federal workforce. But our shows have been about being vigilant and recognizing the signs and keeping yourself safe. And this can apply to anyone, whatever storm you're going through. Do not allow bad people to come into your place. You have enough on your plate right now. You're struggling to keep afloat for yourself and or those you care for, whether it's your children or you have aging loved ones, whomever. You already had a lot on your plate. You don't need to bring another piece to the puzzle that already has too many pieces. Let me say that again. You don't need to bring another piece to the puzzle that already has too many pieces. So, on our Titanium Tidbit for the Morning Hum, we usually pick a verse from the good book, or one of the good books out there, and I take that verse and I apply it to things that are happening right here, right now in the real world. So what does that mean? That means that this week's verse is from 1 Corinthians 15:33 ESV. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Let me say that again. 1 Corinthians 15:33 ESV. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Now, I know that some of you're getting desperate, you're at a vulnerable place, and the hounds are out here looking for their next target. They will say what you want to hear, and some of them may even support you financially for the first couple of weeks, or maybe a month or two at best, and then the stories will start. They've already they've already ingrained themselves into your lives. So they probably even weaseled their way or slithered their way into your homes and your private spaces. And now they are here. And then you want to try to convince yourself, and this is for ladies and gentlemen, that, well, I have somebody who can support me. I have somebody who will listen to me when I'm having a really bad day, which is every day, probably. And then you have somebody, that, just somebody there. Just have somebody there other than the kids or mom and dad or whomever. And that's somebody that can relate to what I'm going through. Listen, the chances of you getting hooked up with a good person during hard times like this are very slim. Now, some of you may, and congratulations on that. I wish you well. But for most of us, we're going to get some con man or conette who wants to have a place to stay. And you're going to, without even realizing it, you don't realize that you're still going to the market instead of you buying for yourself and your children and the people who you were already caregiving to. Now you have an extra mouth to feed. And all of a sudden, that support becomes suspicion. That support becomes suspect, because every time that you need to have that financial support, there's another story to tell. There's another game to be played. And you have to know the laws of your state wherever you are on how you have to get rid of people from your personal abode, from your personal residence. Here in this state, after they stay for a couple of weeks, you can only remove them legally by going to court. They have to be legally evicted. So again, know who you're letting into your space. You're already feeling down and depressed. Then you have these people who are making you feel worse. And then when you have friends and family telling you, you're changing, I know you're going through something, but this is not you. Don't bring that slithering, seething demon seed into your place. I don't care how lonely you get. I don't care how cold you are at night. Sometimes it's better for you to keep your faith, have the faith, hold on to your hope, look to your family and your closest of friends and associates to help you through these times. Get a network going, because whether you realize it or not, you're not alone. There are many of us who are in the same place. So make sure that you have the right group of people in your corner, because it just takes that one to slither their way into your lives during your most vulnerable moments. And that person will destroy everything that you had left. They will take it all, and then they will move on to someone else. And then your bad situation is 1,000,000 times worse. Because now you still have yourself and everyone else who was depending on you. But now you have nothing to work with, because you made the mistake of letting your vulnerabilities and your hurt and your heartache and your pain let the wrong demon into your homes, your places of peace. You already have enough on your plate. Stop allowing your loneliness and your heartache to make you welcome those unwelcome guests. Let me say that again. Don't let your heartache and pain convince you to welcome those unwelcome guests into your personal space. You have enough to deal with. And I promise you, they're going to come with all the stories, gentlemen. She's going to have on the lashes and the hair and the nails, probably a corset to make those hips look wider and that waist look smaller. She's going to be, and she'll be willing to bed you and everything else just so that she can get in. Ladies, he'll be willing to sweet talk. Yeah, baby, you're beautiful. You be like, oh, I'm going through so much. And then you'll start to crying. And then they'll try to take out some raggedy ass rag and dry your tears. And then you'll feel so secure in their arms. And the tighter they hug you, the more secure you're going to feel. And next thing you know, they're moving forward and you're backing up into your doorway. And next thing you know, they're in your home and you're introducing them to the kids and the family and whomever. Or if you're by yourself, you think, oh, I've got somebody here I can depend on. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus doesn't have something to do with some of our bad decisions, by the way. If you all think that he does, then you can go to all the churches in the world. Most pastors that I've known coming up in my day and age, they all do the same script. They try to outscript one another. And I'm not saying that all churches are bad, but a lot of them are. So when you be careful who you listen to. Bad company comes in many forms, is what I'm trying to say. If you get up there and you get all up and on, my pastor is the best, that in itself tells you that there's a problem. If you want to get that up in arms about a pastor, I was out one day and I was talking to someone, and I had grown up with someone, he's a bishop or something now, I don't know what his title is, but we grew up together, and I said, yeah, so-and-so and I. And then this person was a member of their church. It's Bishop so-and-so. I said, I grew up with him. It's so-and-so. I said, I'm not going to just call him that when we're private people who grew up together. And, I have people in high places, and I'm like, hey, so-and-so. And they say, hey, so-and-so. They don't call me doctor this. I don't call them doctor that. We're still first name basis. So if you think that you can attack someone and correct people and do all of this, then you missed the teaching, or either that you failed your lesson. And then maybe it's the way that they're teaching the lesson that some people aren't getting. So again, bad company comes in many forms, from many places, and through many faces. So be very careful who you align yourself with during your times of trouble. I can't stress this enough. Every day I look and I see my ex-husband in the backyard living a few yards away with the neighbor that he had an affair with when we were married. I know what she has. It's all a facade. It's make pretend. She was already his last name, so they can play husband and wifey all they want. And he can let people believe that the beautiful single family home on the acre plus of land is his. But I know he can't afford a box under a bridge without having someone to take care of him. I know this person. She's just glad to have a man, not my words, his. So he's allowed to do whatever he wants. And I played devil's advocate, and I said, well, what if, she gets went? And he looked at me like, now, you know good and well. He said, she's not going to do that. So he gets whatever he wants. But guess what? He's not doing it in my house. And I was married to the bum. And if you followed me from years back, you know the story. I did the background checks and all of that. And there are two people that lived in the same area with the same first, middle, last name, born in the same month, but on a different day, with almost identical police records. I kept getting the other person. It wasn't until after we got married that I got the true report, after I made a lot of complaints. So back in the day, they used to have this, you can contact people and find out who these people are. You get all these things from talk shows and things back then. But they kept giving me the wrong person. And the chances of that happening, I probably would have had a better chance of hitting the lottery or something. But it did. And I paid the price. But I was strong enough to get out of it. And every day that I see him making pretend, I thank the good Lord that I was strong enough to walk away. So with that said, listen, I want you all to take some time for yourselves today. Lay back and be still. Do your breathing exercises. And as always, I want to pray each and every one of you enough. I want to pray you enough sunshine to brighten your days. I also want to pray you enough rain to make your gardens grow beautifully. I want to pray you enough smiles to turn the frown that you've been carrying around upside down. But most of all, I want to pray you enough strength and courage to face whatever may be coming your way from this very moment and beyond. Remember 1 Corinthians 15:33 ESV, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Until next time, be well, be blessed. Have the best remainder of your Sunday possible, and keep up. You are important. I'm C. Maria Wall, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care, everyone.